And here we are again. Same fucking thing. I thought I knew better. Well, I guess there's still more to learn. Hey there, you. Looking for a brighter season. Need to lay your burden down. Need to lay your burden down. Hey there, you. Drowning in a helpless feeling. Buried under deeper ground. When the light goes out, it's a waiting game. Never gonna see the day where your world will change. Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, lead you to the other side. Other side. Now sing to the... Wait. Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, lead you to the other side. Sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you. Heaven's gonna turn the tide. Oh my god, that was so good. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. Let me just say it straight. Most people nowadays aren't healing. They just found more intellectual ways to justify their way of being. Let's just call it what it is. Perpetual processing is no different than self-abandonment with a vocabulary upgrade. Where you keep trying to feel better instead of doing better, choosing better, living better. Look, I get it. This world, or the healing world rather, teaches us to excavate every wound before we are finally ready. But we have to be very careful that healing doesn't become a form of delay packaged in a form of depth. We don't have time for that. We are not here to be endlessly undone or unpacked. We are here to be and become and create from that space. Let me ask you this. If this whole healing loop worked and this endlessly working on yourself, you would already see the results of it. You would already be where you would want to be. You would already be living what you preach. And that is the root, the fracture between identity, soul design, and life direction. Most people are living through loops of projections or partial fragments of who they really are. That is why most people repeat the same loops, make chaotic decisions, and keep seeking external things to find some sort of clarity without ever being fully integrated. That's the thing, most people want to experience some sort of change without having to change themselves. You cannot change your outside world without changing the internal. Because the outside is a direct reflection of the internal, of your internal world. Your internal landscape is what projects outside. So everything you see around you is data reflected back to you that you should use then to make adjustments from the inside. It sounds simple, right? But to make it even simpler, you cannot expect to feel better without having to act better and make different choices for yourself. And sometimes we just lost that connection with the fact that we do have a choice. We do have a choice. Why should you even listen to me? because I definitely don't know everything. But what I do know and feel is my own experience. And the fact is that my mother broke my heart 12 times at least before the age of 12. But she taught me that I can save no one, absolutely no one, from their own suffering, from their own contract. And little did I know that that would become the foundational lesson of my life, of how to let go. See, for the longest of my life, I've been struggling with mental health, addiction, depression, trauma. There were not a lot of things that were like not in my experience when it comes to darkness. From a very young age, I simply saw too much, carried too much, knew too much, cared too much in a world that was completely deprived of any care, of any depth. And I did not have the tools to deal with everything. So I have a cold. So, yeah, I'm not addicted. I'm not addicted. It's not snowing here. Anyways, I simply did not have the tools to deal with everything that was coming my way. I didn't. So I started to carry it, hoarding it inside of me. I was raised by darkness and schooled by tremendous suffering. And by the age of 11, I tried to drink and use the pain out of me. That was the only moment that I could feel some sort of relief from everything that I felt from the inside. And that exact way of coping that became part of me later on taught me why my mother was the way she was. Because it's only tremendous pain that one does not know how to deal with, and extreme spiritual damage that makes people behave like a complete monster. And it doesn't make it right, but it does make it a big lesson for all of us. And I spoke about my mother before, but let's not forget my father. If selfishness was a person, it would be him. And I only needed 5 times of interacting with him for him to teach me how to deeply hate myself. And how to never, ever, ever, ever ask for help again in my life. By making me feel so ashamed and so small for asking him for $1 for a bag of chips at the age of 10. Looking at me as if I just slaughtered anything and everything and everyone that he deeply cared about. For looking at me like I just ripped the whole ground beneath his feet. That was his reaction for asking him $1. $1. I kid you not. $1. He would look at me as if I just crushed his whole world. As if I was the most disgusting thing he ever came across in his life. That's how he looked at me. Truly, the only thing he left me with is a bad hairline. It is what it is. My whole life, I've shed more than a couple of tears, wishing that I had a father. Thinking of how would my life look with a healthy father in it, a healthy mother, healthy parents. I never had that experience, ever. Till this day, when I see a father being a father, it's pure magic to me. And I don't have to know the person to feel extremely proud of a man being a real man to his wife, to his children. Every cell in my body starts dancing when I see that. It's like, yes, there's hope. Because it's so important. It's so important. It is foundational work. It is everything to have healthy parents. It pushes forward your whole existence. It is your balance, your structure. And when you are deprived of that, you're already 10 steps behind. That's just facts. That's just what it is. But we need contrast, right? We need contrast. And my father showed me everything a man should not be. Selfish, pathetic, no emotion, no duty, no protection, no responsibility, completely disconnected from the source and his own seed. And I blame him, yes, I blame him, because I think it's weak. But I don't judge him, because in the couple of times I've interacted with him, I saw a little boy that simply didn't know how. That didn't have the strength and the courage to choose differently. And that makes it painfully clear, especially if it's that close, that some people will just never break out of the loop of resistance, avoidance, deception, which not only makes them suffering, but everything and everyone around them. And in a way, it's understandable. But where does it stop? Do we even realize that we are the ones that can make it stop? We are the ones that can make it stop. And it goes deep. You know, my mother always used to tell me that she had cancer on her soul. She always said, het leven is een feest, ik ben alleen niet uitgenodigd. Which means, life is a party, they just forgot to invite me. Little did I know that that exact line became the fuel of my whole existence. That became the fuel, the belief that I dragged with me throughout my whole life. Life is not for me. And that is just a small thing of so many things, but just to tell you how it works. And how we even copy the loops of others to then simply repeat them. I never ever felt that I belonged here. Maybe I forced myself to know better because I do, but it was a way deeper feeling that I couldn't simply think away. I never felt at home here, even not within my own body. It's such a strange feeling of constant dissociation. And I'm finally doing better, but for the longest of my life, I've asked myself, like, how I'm going to do this. Like, maybe I'm too far gone. Maybe I'm too far gone to, like, maybe this is it. Like, how am I going to live a normal life with this pain, with this damage, with this trauma, with this loops, with this constant pressure and feeling of responsibility? And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. Everything that was taken away from me, the constant weight that I had to carry, all the holes formed into one big hole of emptiness that I've been trying to fill for my whole life. And that loop of hopelessness robbed me from my life force. But something in me always refused to give up. There was something in me that refused to give up. Somewhere in me, I had this deeper feeling, this deeper knowing that what I was experiencing was not just an individual process, right? It's generational, it's collective. And I knew that I was here to break a pattern. It's not an individual process. You are experiencing it as an individual. But if you break the pattern, it will ripple beyond your wildest imagination. Backwards, forwards, all kinds of directions, okay? So it's not a small thing. That's why it feels so heavy. I've learned that looping either means you're avoiding the lesson or there's some kind of comfort found in predictability, which then creates a false sense of safety, making it seem reasonable to repeat the loop. It is the avoidance of the discomfort that creates the loop that you keep yourself stuck in. Avoidance of the thing is what creates the thing and simultaneously holds the key to what it is you truly want. Running away from discomfort is what makes you a slave to it. That's why so many people feel trapped in their own life. If you cannot look at your own shadows, the discomfort that you feel will always surprise and overpower you. You have to learn how to sit with it. It only takes 90 seconds to let an emotion or a sensation, feeling move through your body. You just have to ground yourself in it. Stay present with it. It's just energy, sensation. It's movement. Help your body let it move through. Sounds simple, right? We will get back at that soon enough. But it is that simple because when you actually start to practice it, you will learn that your body's intelligent, knows exactly what to do with everything that comes your way. If you just stop interfering. The thing is, if you don't learn how to do that, you will be running from a ghost for the rest of your life. Looping in the same cycles of addiction, depression, feeling stuck in life, feeling lonely, feeling depleted, feeling unfulfilled, all those things. Your resistance to what needs attention is what creates the problem. Your resistance to change is what creates the problem. And resistance to change is no more than a strategy to avoid feeling what's underneath. That's all it is. You have to teach yourself that it's safe to feel, that resistance has no power over you, that the energy of sensations, emotion, all that stuff has no power over you because you are the fuel behind it. You are it. So learn how to center yourself and to meet every part of you with curiosity and compassion. Let everything that wants to move through redirect you, teach you, transform you. The other option is to run away from it the rest of your life and just repeating the loop. That is the only other option that you have. Nee, grapje. Nee. Oh, vervelend. I need a break. And where do you start with that? It is repetition. You have to actually practice it and rebuild or retrain your memory and prove to yourself that you are the one that has the power by choosing differently. You just have to be careful with this whole being stuck in the loop, because all what is truly happening is you choosing the same path. Because in some kind of weird way it makes you feel safe. Because at least it's known, at least it's predictable. If you want to experience different things, you have to take another route. You have to reroute and do things differently than you have done them before. That is the only way. You cannot expect to walk the same path and have an entire different experience. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. You have to do the opposite of what you've always done. It's that simple. Just do the opposite of what you've always done in any given situation. Because now at least you have enough data and enough experience to know what didn't work. So let it redirect you. And let it strengthen your new path. And it will become easier if you just start walking and doing. I promise it won't be hard forever. Personally, I also had to find a container where all the pain that I felt could exist outside of me. Because if it has nowhere to go, you will become it. Simply because of the fact that energy doesn't disappear. It just transforms. So we consciously have to give it a new life. Learning how to transmute, how to change energetic waste, compost, and put it to use, create something new. Making use of our God-given power of being creators. Changing our perspectives, changing our ways. Give other meaning to the stories that we have told ourselves so we can feel empowered on our paths instead of depleted. Life will get easier when you have something else to live and to fight for other than your own sanity.
Break the pattern today or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today or the loop will repeat.
I needed a break. But what if you not having done enough work isn't the thing? What if you are addicted to the version of you that always needs to work? To do something, to be something, and to suffer, to be finally deserving of the life that you truly desire. Because if you actually got free of the shackles of your mind, no. If you actually got free, who would you be? Think about it. If you actually got free, who would you be? If there's no more trauma, no more darkness, no more chaos to organize your life and identity around, then what? And that's why it's so important that you find a new way of being. Because healing is not your identity and being in process is not a personality. You don't need more things. You already have everything you need to create an entire different experience for yourself. You need a new standard. You need to start making decisions as someone who perceives the world through an entire different lens. It's changing yourself on an identity level. That's why I say a new way of being, because it's the being that creates the doing. And it's the doing that creates the results. And it's the doing that moves and shapes your whole world. It is the old stories that you still drag along. It is the meaning that you gave things up until this point. It is the decisions that you made that created the reality that you're experiencing now. But all of that is created from the old awareness. All you have created is created from that awareness, from that identity. So you have to let go of your old identity and adapt a new identity. That is how you break the loop. No more flat healing and a sense of feeling productive while actually getting nowhere. Procrastinating. And procrastinating is also just a strategy to not having to deal with the things that are fighting for your attention, that actually need it the most. But actively seeking out new experiences, new ways of being, planting seeds of potential, so you're opening yourself up to a range of new possibilities. Looping and staying stuck is for scavengers. It's chronic immaturity, often masked as victimhood or righteousness. And instead of facing the raw discomfort of self inflicted wounds. They choose to externalize every problem that they have. You don't want to be part of that, do you? Because it's not the snake bite that kills you, it's the poison that keeps circulating in your system. So stop intoxicating yourself. Sometimes staying intoxicated and confused feels safer. Because once you know, you are responsible. So get out your own way, okay? You cannot change anything from a nervous system that doesn't truly believe that it is safe to change, that it is safe to flourish, that it is safe to win in life. Whatever that means to you. Power, real power, begins with self regulation. Knowing how to hold yourself in any given situation breeds self trust, self respect, and self worth. In that order, the exact ingredients that you need to bake a cake of reality that you don't need to escape from. Peaked. Nee. Alle grappen opzij. Whatever you do, govern your energy like it's sacred real estate, because it is. Looping is emotional masturbation. Discipline is power. And freedom is choice. Stop avoiding discomfort like it's your full-time job. Not everything that feels hard is bad for you, and not everything that feels good is good for you. That's why people should stop using drugs and fucking around. But for real, I'm not even joking at all. But that's the truth, and unfortunately the truth doesn't always come wrapped in a warm blanket. Sometimes it feels like someone just farted in your face. It isn't supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to wake you up. Are we here? To close this off, I have 3 questions. The first question is, what do I pretend not to know? What do I pretend not to know? Second question, why does it feel safe to stay stuck in the same place? Why does it feel safe to stay stuck in the same place? What about it makes me feel safe? Third question, where in my life am I still waiting for someone or something else to save me? Where in my life am I still waiting for someone or something else to save me? That's it for now. Ik ga het hierbij laten. Ik heb onderhand de blaar op mijn tong. Inner space, carry yourself with grace. And I see you next week. I'm going to talk about... I see you next week. Ciao. Ciao. Hey there, you. Trying to stand up on your own 2 feet and need to lay your burden down. Are we here?